And we have this natureful bounteous. Hey y'all, APG Jamie here. And I'm finally getting around to doing the dye from pine cone dye. Okay, so had to go out and find pine cones. Don't know why there wouldn't. Oh, because they cut the trees down. My bad. Anyway, went out pine cone hunting. Got regular size Walmart bag fullish of them. Brought them home. And pulling them apart using a pair of jewelry pliers because I couldn't find big regular pliers. And if you do this, you want to wear gloves because pine cones have those sharp little pointy bits on them. Okay, so did that for a while, took them all apart. The recipe I originally saw was for pine cone ink, so it included gum arabic and gelatin. I can't think of what the naturalists call it. Anyway, I thought it'd be fun to make the dye from it. So they used a cup of pine cones. I got about 6 cups of pine cones. They used 2 cups of water. I'm using about a gallon. So that was for ink. I'm trying to make a dye. I should have got less water, more pine cones. I don't know. I boiled them. Pretty good little boil there. Not a total rapid boil. Anyway, for about an hour, turned it down to a low boil, more than a simmer, okay? And did that for an hour and then turned it down to low and did that for 2 hours or about another hour, something like that. Anyway, I had to let it soak because now it was a whole nother day. And strained off the pine cones and then strained the juice as well. Again, got about, not a gallon, probably about 3/4 of a gallon. Anyway, I've got these plastic containers that we're going to be using to put our stuff in. I've got probably not quite a liter or around a liter. Let's go with a liter, okay? Of the pine cone dye water there. And it is cold, chilled. It's certainly not warm. Anyway, the first one, as you saw, I made a little label, or I will make a label. I don't know if I did that yet. And the first one is plain, just the dye bath, absolutely nothing. The second one over there has, I think that was the baking soda. I think that's what I did first. And I did alum, soda ash, and vinegar. Yeah. Which we will get to those too. Everything is sped up because, plenty long enough. This was, about a 3-day, 4 if you count drying the papers. Yeah, about a 4, full week's worth of hard art work, y'all. Any hoobles. We are taking it out. We're still adding in. Oh, my bad. We're still adding in. Bless my heart. I'm so confused, y'all. Okay, now it's the plain. And we do this for quite some time. Like I said, it's like a 4-day, 5-day. Let's make it a 5-day thing, okay? Because we had to let the paper dry more. We've got book paper from 3 or 4 different books. I don't remember right now. And we have copy paper. It happens to be legal size because that's what it was on top, so that's what I grabbed. And y'all know my favorite cardstock and my favorite deli wrap from the Dixies. And we had some seam binding, and at our local charity shop, I'd found some lace on the, the kind they sell by the yard. I found like 3 or 4 of those delis, and one of them had this eyelet trim on it, not lace. I don't think it's lace. Anyway, that's what I'm using. It is not pre-washed. So, I didn't have high hopes for that once I got to doing it. And I thought, oh, poop. I didn't pre-wash it. So there you go. Now, the fabric I'm using is from the tea towels from the Walmart. It is pre-washed. So, all the sizing's out of that. I'm not going to quite give away the punchline yet. So now we're removing it. So these set in there overnight. Everything's set for about 10 to 12 hours, okay? Overnight. Over afternoon even. So the paper's got pretty soggy. Pretty soggy, y'all. Which makes them more prone to tear. And I wasn't exactly being careful with anything. Because I wasn't. We're just experimenting. So we will see that one in this view. That one over there looks a little darker, doesn't it? The juice, yeah. Anyway, we wrote it down because Rosemary of Rusty Peacock, Rosemary Morris, in the group we're in, Rusty Peacock's Caboodles, Rusty Peacock Caboodles, gave us a printout, or a downloadable to print out the sheet I'll be using in the journal that we will make in this long video, y'all. So here's some dye. The one plain bucket, I left it alone. I just add a little more juice to it. The second one, I'm rinsing out my container. I have a sink right there. And we're going to put some juice of about the equal amount. When I say juice, I mean dye water, dye bath. I don't know. It might have worked better if it'd been warm, but it was coolish, cold, not really cold, not hot. I know I've already said it again. It was very damp. That's why I was doing it inside, for one thing. Very damp. So anyway, that's the one with the alum. And I measured it out, and if I didn't write it down yet, I do get to it. Okay. And this one's going to be soda ash. I know it's just riveting, I tell you, to see this. Like I said some more. Portions have been cut out, believe it or not, and it is sped at, because I like it like that. So, and see, I'm swishing them around, stirring them up a little bit, and y'all see all that. That is a paintbrush barrel that I'm using, and I am wiping it off between both buckets. I'm really trying not to contaminate anything with anything else, including myself, even though I don't have any clothes on. This stuff is, supposed to be non-toxic. Of course, everything's toxic in big enough quantities. I ain't no doctor. Anywho, moving along. I'm just laying the foil on top of there. It's a reminder that I have something in the bucket. Okay, it's like, this is in front of my door, my studio door, and if you're going too fast when you walk in the door, you're just going to crash into it, and what a mess that'd be. Then somebody would have to sweep and mop the floor. I would like to know who this somebody is anyway. Okay, moving along. Did I say seam binding? I feel like I did. Copy paper, deli paper. A couple of them have, I had the butcher paper from my secret internet admirer guy. Yeah, some of that was in there too. Here's the eyelet. The fabric and all that, seam binding, book pages, copy paper, cardstock. Oh, cardstock, that's probably what I forgot to say. So we're going to flip through all of these real quickish, like-ish. Hey, it's just barely 10 minutes now, y'all. I know, I don't see a lot of difference either. Some of them really didn't get any, seemed like they didn't get any color on them at all. And I'm like, well, what happened there? So, the soda ash, no, not the soda ash, the alum. The alum, to me, was slightly yellowish. I mean, ever so slightly yellowish. And it's the one that left a residue on some of the book paper. Not the copy paper, not the cardstock, not the deli wrap, not the butcher paper. Some of book pages. Weird, y'all. And still really, and the only reason you know it's slightly yellowish is because I told you it was slightly yellowish. Otherwise, they all look the same, pretty much, y'all. Okay? There was no rhyme, no reason about it. And I complained and whined to my husband about it. He says, well, let me see what I can find out on the internet. So that's what he did. And there's a link to someone's blog in the description box below. Go see what they did. Anywhoots, we are now moving on to our journal making section, and we are going to do an expandable spine. Saw again the Rosemary Morris. Girl, look at all them shout outs you getting. Anyway, she had done an expandable binding journal. I had to do one after that. I will link to my video in the upper right hand and in the description box below. And within that video, you will find a link to Rosemary's expandable spine video and one different but an expandable spine by the Shelley Studio. Just saying. In that video, my prior expandable spine video. So we're making accordion. You see that. It's cardstock. Just plain old cardstock. Been laying on my table I don't know how long. So it is not necessarily clean. It's not necessarily filthy, but it's clean. So I did all that back and forth accordion. 2 strips, you know, 1 sheet cut in half, cardstock. Gluing the 2 ends together so that I have a lot of accordion to play with. Now, they're not exactly the same size as the other ones, which are 3/4 of an inch. I'm pretty sure I did. And I'm lining it up so that everything is the approximate same height. Okay? So, smashing them together. Used my favorite Aleene's Original Tacky Glue. Here are the sheets that Rosemary did for us. Thanks, Rosemary. Anyway, let's turn it into a Rosemary video. Hottie Popo. Gotta throw you out there. So we're doing that. I am not going to put the 2 sheets together. I'm going to glue, they'll be glued individually onto the accordion part of the spine. But I am making some fold over tabs, okay? And these are, I don't know, like an inch strip, and then I'm just going to score down the middle of it. I do not fold them all. I just am putting them in the pocket of the journal, because the journal gets a pocket. I know, it's shocking. And that way I will have those if I need them, okay? Now, this journal, I am going to work from front to the back, and then, if I get that far. And then if I get more than that, I will then work from the back towards front, because the way I'm lining it up, I could put that, because it's an expandable spine, y'all. So we're using Yes Paste on some cardboard pieces that probably came out of a set of sheets or something. I don't know, because, you know, I'm a collector. So it's like the back of a paper pad. Think of that. Okay. So we're pasting that. It's cut down to approximate size that I want. Well, it's the size I want, whatever that size is. On the other side is a mono printed piece of cardstock, which I will flip over and you will see momentarily. Okay. Rolling it on there because we want it all married. Now we're just cutting out the corners. You don't always have to do that. It's cardstock and I want to do that, so I'm doing it. Now I will tell you, I did jump the gun on my pocket and attaching my front and back cover, or the inside of my covers, which we'll get to any hour now. Anyway, learn from my mistakeage, okay? I don't necessarily think the pine cone die was a mistake because I enjoyed doing it, and I will not do it again unless someone else figures out how to make this a darker color, like the girl described the ink as being a lovely rich brown with red undertones. So anyway, different pine cones too, y'all, just saying. But if you do, let me know. All right? Because I want to know. So I'm just folding that all over. And I will mention it because I think I do every time I use Yes Paste. Please do not use wet Yes Paste with wet glue. They are not friendly together. I mean, it's not like it's going to explode, I don't think. I ain't no scientist either. But they don't like to be that close together when they're wet. So now this is the inside cover piece that I should have waited. Okay, I should have waited till later. Okay. Okay. And I'm just using those thin silicone mats I have. Oh, they're awesome, y'all. I'm just saying, they are awesome. Because see, I can just flip that over like a piece of paper, but I'm not throwing away no piece of paper. Because I just unroll it, let that dry, and then that just crumbles right off there, yeah. So rolling that on there. Now that's over there. Both the front and back covers are over there drying. I decided I wanted flat buttons for the back. So again, I took that same piece of card that I used for the faux chipboard, or actual chipboard, I don't know. And we've glued on a few of the little scraps from one of the covers, front or back, they're not exact. Excuse me. And glued them onto the circles. And we have just poked 2 holes. So now we have a button. And now we are getting some, I don't know, it's like baker's twine. Oh, it's some pretty good baker's twine. Anyway, I'm taking 3 pieces and I'm taking it approximately, more or less, slightly around 3 times the length of my book, because my book is a sideways book. It's landscape, y'all. So anyway, now I'm putting glue on the end, just one end, and I'm twisting it up. As this dries over the next few minutes, not even 5 minutes, they'll be dry, I will reach over there, pick one up, and twist it so that it will keep going tight, okay? Now it's its own needle, so to speak, okay? It's not a real needle, y'all. It won't really poke you. Anyway, putting that through the little button hose, because we put button holes on there. Yes, the back side is unfinished faux chipboard, real chipboard, whatever that was, okay? Now we're threading it through there. Find my T words, y'all. And we're going to even it up. Reminds me of a song from the 80s, I think. Even it up, even it up. Okay. So, just going to tie a simple little knot on there, just mostly to hold it in place. The glue squirches out in a little while, and it will actually kind of glue that knot in there. So I've got this olive green piece for the back because I put olive green on the front, but I don't think that part got filmed. I couldn't find it anyway. So we're going to glue this onto the back just as a slight, hey, you know, I'm the back of the book, but I don't have to be ugly kind of thing. All right. It's like putting diamonds on the back pockets of your jeans, your yoga pants then. Anyway, some of us need stuff on our pockets. Yeah. Not everybody needs stuff on. Not everybody needs a pocket. Anyway, so now I've got my buttons with my string in there. And that's how I'm going to do it. This is the back cover. That's my accordioning part. I've already put it on to the back cover. Again, film. I don't know. Y'all, we're going to blame it on the time of the year. Anyway, going to glue that on there. I'm going to do this for all 3 of these buttons because now they're buttons. Not all buttons are round. I was going to say buttons are round, but they don't have to be. These are round. They have buttonholes and they have string coming through them, so they're buttons. I don't know where I was going with that. And moving along. So we're gluing those on there. We've got some clamps over there. I think someone said they look like piranha one time. They come from the Harbor Freight. I am not an affiliate. Just saying, because I'm not. So we'll put 3 of them on there, and in a little bit I'll come back and I'll put a second one on there. And this is why I should have left the pocket and the inside piece off of the cover. So put your inside piece on after you put your hand or your accordion spine on there. Then put the pocket on there even after that. No, after this. After that. Yeah, you'll figure it out. You'll see me mess up. Anyway, this is not the only time. So we have matched up our buttons to some other things on this front cover. And I've, drawn my lines and punched my hose. And I'm going to use some flowers, I guess roses, white roses, y'all. Just because I had brads and I thought they would be cute and they would work. It's flat on the back, bumpy on the front. So one of them had twisted prongs on it, so I put it back and get in a new one. And smishing them down. And I'm like, oh, I got to cover that up. So I have a piece of scrap card over there. I'm going to cover it up. And straightening out the little doolallers. These are not super tight because we have string we're going to wrap around them, okay? I thought that part out for a minute. Then forgot and then remembered. So anyway, we're putting glue on this piece because it's going to cover up the brad backs on the inside, okay? Then I will reattach the pocket, which was wrong. I should have put the other side of the accordion spine on this before I've glued the pocket down again on that side. So, oh goodness, it happens, y'all. I could have got upset. I could have totally remade a whole nother cover because that would have been doable too. But this is fine. It's me. It's for me, and I made it. Y'all get the significance of a cemetery, right? Dying. Yeah. Wah, 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 wah. There I am with the glue. Obviously. And I had some pulled up paper, so I'm trying to stick that back down too. And I'm just going along. I'm just like, yay, we're getting it back together. All the time I'm knowing I got to put a spine on there. So I didn't let this set real long, just for a couple minutes. I'm like, oh, well, let's go ahead and put the spine on there. And I'm doing it, and I'm doing it, and I'm going to line it up because that's the back cover that's laying there. Top cover is to the left. I know this video does seem like it goes on forever. So here's our top. We're going to line it up. Mostly, more or less. Perfect, I'm sure. Okay, I'm just gonna Keep smishing that on there. I'm like, yeah, man, that's great. Oh, dang, the pocket's in the way. What is up with that? What is up with that? No. Oh, no. No, never mind. It's fine the way it is. This will be just fine. We don't need that part of the pocket anyway, right? So, smishing it all together. And now we're going to put up our accordion folds. We're going to put our pages in, which I'm just gluing to that side of the accordion, lining it up-ish, lining up-ish. Yeah, you know, it's kind of lined up, probably mostly. Okay, and we do this for a long time. Not real long. It was longer for me than it is for y'all. Anyway, I don't know how many pages I have. I truly didn't count them because it's an expandable spine. I can put stuff in here, which is why I made those hinges back, 2 hours ago. Was so I can add flip outs or tip ins, tip outs, something like that. Yeah. And then I am just gluing it to the one side of the accordion, which means the other side of the accordion is available to use as well. And this spine could get pretty big. I didn't measure it. I didn't pull it. I should have measured it, I guess. Well, no. It get pretty big. I don't need it that big. Anyway. You'll see once I put in our stuff from not just the pine cone dyeing session, but our previous not great dyeing session with the hibiscus flowers. Y'all remember those. Link in the box. Description. Upper right hand corner. So we got it all in there. See, isn't that nice? And then these just wrap around the brads. Yeah, that's why I left some room, because I got to pop that thread through there and it will hold that spine nice and tight at this desired size at this time. See, there's our little thing. See, that we've already used one right there. Okay. Oops. And there we go. I like it. Makes me stinking happy. So I'm going to add another extension to our pine cone page, and just going to glue that on there. These are like hinges, okay? What did I say? They were 1 inch with a score down the middle. So at a 1/2 inch, it's got a score. Fold it over. Decide which side of your paper or where you want to put it. Glue it on. Then attach that to your next paper, and now you have a hinged flip out, tip in, whatever you want to call it. Now, I'm making some little notes there because I have pieces of the book pages and the copy paper and all that. I have my original samples, so I know what I can compare it to and be like, yeah, that's the color it was, but this is the color it is now. Okay, that kind of thing. So, I was proud of myself for thinking of that, because Rosemary didn't tell me to do that, Rosemary. Anyway, just going to staple that together. This is so I can paper clip it in, and then I can move it around to the different sections. Because on the pine cone one, we've got what, like 5 different juices going on? Okay? Just saying. I'm like, yeah, wrote on the wrong side. But it's still okay. It works on the other side too. Double-sided. That's what it is, y'all. It's double-sided. Okay. I'm like, yeah. And I have plenty of room to make more notes if I should happen to come back and do pine cones again. Doubt it. It's not necessarily impossible, but I sincerely doubt it. Anyway, there is plenty of room to add more information. Or if someone else does something, if one of y'all does something, you come back and report to me what your findings were, and I can write that down too in my book. Sharing information, y'all. So I've got the little samples there, cardstock, copy paper, book pages for 4 different books. I'm not sure, maybe just 3. I don't know. Deli paper, you know, the typical stuff that I use. Okay, I'm thinking next time I do some kind of dye is I won't necessarily use such big pieces of my tea towels from the Walmarts. I mean, they're cheap enough, I guess, but you know, do I really need 5 different ones for one color of dye? Well, I guess you would, because you don't know if it's actually going to change color. Now, do you? Unless it's pine cones, in which case mordants didn't make a difference, at least not enough of a difference to make it worth adding a mordant, in this person's opinion. Okay? Allen's the only one that was slightly different, and it was slightly yellowish. I know I said that already. I mean, very slightly. And then some of the book papers had a residue on it. Not all of them, just some of them. So, anyway, putting our different samples in, using the original tag that I wrote on as to what was being put into it. And so next time if I do this again, hopefully I'll write better side notes like that, because they'll be in the book. You might want them to look sort of okay-ish. Anyway, it's all scientific. Doesn't have to look okay. Just has to look like a doctor wrote it, right? Anyways, see, I was just showing how you can take your originals and thumb it through the other ones. So that is from our hibiscus dye session. Link below, upper right-hand corner. And as you can see, there's even room I could, you know, put more information on. That's basically some of the same stuff, you know, same binding, same fabric, same copy, book, pay, you know, all that. It just happens to be. So that's what that was about. And now we're just going to straighten things up. I'm going to flip it over so you can see, you know, how the book looks. That one piece keeps flipping out. Expandable spine. Ta-da! Photo montage. I really do appreciate you spending your time with me today. I know families are gathered around the hearth. Hearth. That's it, hearth. Oh, bless my heart, y'all. Anyway, I appreciate you being here, spending your time with me. I do. I'm pretty happy. I'm very happy with my book. Somewhat disappointing with the pine cone, but you know, c'est la vie. C'est la beau. And y'all know how I feel about the hibiscus one. I do have more of those, so we'll get back to that again. So, other things are on the list for the nows. Seam binding, tea towels from the Walmart. Like I said, that eyelet trim was unwashed. The seam binding was unwashed as well. But that is a rayon, you know, sort of plastic kind of fibers there. Not enough difference for me to add any mordants if I were, unless you come up with a good mordant. Let me know. Thanks for watching, and happy art, y'all.